think we are live. I'm gonna get my microphone a bit closer so you can hear us a bit better. Ah, bugger, I'm out of water. Actually, be back in a second. Not going anywhere, I'll just be a minute. Actually, hang on, can I add some text? I'll say be back soon. No, it's a source. I swear there's a way to like add text. I've got an idea. I've got an idea. It's a big. There we go. Alright, did that work? Alright, just had to run off and do something I forgot to do in real life. Okay, so what are we doing today? I probably should have prepared for this before I actually started the stream. But that's for losers. So today we're going to be prepping up, setting up all the freight trains around the southeastern area. Because I've got up the diagrams, I've been writing the diagrams over the past few days for various freight in both Kent and the London Tilbury and Southend area, which is a much smaller one, so I think I'll start with that one. Right, what do I actually do with this one? Let me get my diagrams. So in this area, we're going to be feeding 3 things into London. Those things are building materials from the brickworks at Southend, which hasn't been built yet because I only just set this up without unporting. Fuel from the cracking plant at Beckton, which is this one. And vehicles from the assembly plant here. So let's start with the brickworks. Let me make sure I'm under the right company. What station do you reckon for building materials? I reckon this one. So, what's feeding the brickworks? Well, we're getting clay from this clay pit over on, what island is that? I think for the next stream I'm gonna like take a picture or digitally scan this diagram and kind of put it up on the screen so you can see where I'm working from. This is Foulness Island clay pit. Okay. Because in real life there was a military railway which ran from Shoeburyness along the coast. So that can represent that of sorts. Anyway, Brickworks is getting sand from the quarry at Grays. This one here. And coke from the cracking plant at Beckton. Okay. So let's just link up these railways. These industries, sorry. This one can be a liquids one. Let's actually name them. Right, and the quarry. I would use the mineral silos for quarries. Because I just think that lines up nicely, you know, it looks good. Looks like it fits. Also, can you hear my game audio? Yes, you can. It's probably a bit loud. I'm going to turn it down. Right, and then we need to build this military railway. How are we doing this then? We'll take it out from here. I was thinking, I'm sure there's actually a bridge that runs across onto this island, but actually is. Let's use that one. Oh, come on. It doesn't line up by one. Well, isn't that just typical? Passing loop. Nah, that'll be fine. Where's our depots? This is not a depot in Southend. Let's check. No, there's one at Southend Victoria. Oh, Shoeburyness, 33C. Shoeburyness. Right, that's just a small run, so we'll use the long boiler for that one, and then we want clay. And needs a brake van. From there to there. I'm just going to put a little cord in so that so it can run through. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we've got to make all the groups. Forgot about that one. London, Tilbury, and Southend Railway. Actually, this railway is probably going to be really profitable in general because freight generally does make a profit. But also there's so many like hotels here which generate hundreds upon hundreds of passengers. The trains are pretty much always going to be running full. Right, London Freight, Southend Clay. Let's make more groups. Oops. Southend Sand and Southend Coke. What are these? Oh, that's something. I've been doing the Scotland freight off camera because I couldn't quite figure out my own diagram on camera. But it looks like I've got to put some in a group. So these two are running from a farm. What are you carrying? Sugar beet. Hang on a second. So this will be under the Glasgow Southwestern. This is Greenock Sugar. Right, now that's sorted, we'll get back to work. Right, we need trains going from the quarry at Grays. So we want something that will carry sand. And it's just a simple back and forth run. Yep. But I'll put 2 on this one. Actually, I've just realised the trains we use to carry the coke from here to Southend can be used to carry the building materials back. We just need to get a depot to unload them at. We could unload them directly into Fenchurch Street. I need to blow my nose. Excuse me. Well, let's have a look. Is there any goods depots that belong to the London, Tilbury and Southend? Places, not I wanted. Fun, I'm seeing this loads. I'm not for ones that are owned by the Midland, because that's the company that took over the London, Tilbury and Southend. Right, so it looks like the Great Eastern, the Great Northern and the Southern all have goods depots at Fenchurch Street. But it doesn't look like there's any goods depots anywhere else. Where are these passengers going? Right, let's see. Fuel, vehicles and building materials. Thing is, the petrol station doesn't actually unlock until 1900, which is only 10 years, but obviously we can't actually fund it. Why are you stuck? You're not, you're moving. Oh, you're a different colour. Are you? No. Oh, that was disappointing. I thought you were like a Metropolitan crimson. No, at least you're not stuck. Right, I've had to rework this junction so many times because look, it's even still congested. And it's just because there's so many trains that are coming from obviously the Midland lines, the Great Northern lines, the Great Western lines, and obviously the Metropolitan up to Chesham. And all funneling into Moorgate, and not only that, but Moorgate also has trains terminating from the District line as well. that's not going to end of it because obviously we'll have to put in the City of North London Railway, as that's what it's called. The one that runs to Finsbury Park. Goods depot. I'm just worried that the station's going to become congested. Also, I don't get why Fenchurch Street actually has any people, because it doesn't actually have its own tube connection or any way of actually accessing the city. Hang on a second. Let's remove that and plop it in up here. There we go. Starting a fund to industry. These are still running empty, and I still don't know why. You want something that accepts vehicles, fuel, and building materials. Well, I think I need a vehicle dealer for the vehicles. Yeah, that's the only thing that takes vehicles. I could send them to here, because that takes vehicles. But same with any alcohol we'll make, because I'm going to send alcohol to the wharves to generate more. But I'd rather grow London, because if you look at the town population, the town directory, and we sort by population. Dublin, Edinburgh, Newcastle, Birmingham, Manchester, Leeds, Liverpool, Glasgow, and Sheffield are all bigger than London, which is ridiculous. In fact, Dublin's 1.5 times bigger than London. So I want to just keep growing London as much as I possibly can, just by funneling as many freight products as possible into it. Can only people buy near the centre of towns? Oh, bugger. Okay, guess it's going in there. And then you want to put in a hardware store. Actually, let's display the tray and go to building materials. Am I blind? Oh, that's industries. I'm not blind, I'm just stupid. Right. Well, a hardware store. It can only go into a hardware store. We can use this for other ones as well. Actually, let's put in a goods one. Set into Fenchurch Street. It is. Cool, so now that can accept vehicles and building materials. And now we just need a way to link these two. Okay. Like so. And then we need a way for it. Oh, okay. So any other way we can get to Woolwich Dockyards without doing this? Oh, survey says no. Right, I'll just rework this then. That's going to be one very busy chord. Right, let's get the trains in. Depot here? Nope. Depot here? Yes. I had to put this in because the train was stuck. The AI in this game is atrocious at best. That's just because it's dumb. I don't blame it for that. My nose always decides to run, and my throat always decides to get blocked up the moment I start streaming. I'm fine just before I start, and I'm fine just after I stop. So you want something that carries Coke. Right, so you go to here and pick up Coke. Then you go all the way along to here. And then we're dropping off there. Here you're going to refit to Coke. Here you're going to refit to building materials. And here you're going to unload all, no loading. We're going to put quite a few on this one. 3, 4, no, 3. Right. So that's this little bit done. Beckton cracking plant is being fed from 2 places. There's the oil refinery at Purfleet, and there's the petrochemicals from here. And the acid from here is also going to the zinc smelter here. On one hand, I could use trains for this, but I could use ships. Are there any ships that take liquids? Yep, they take acid. And do they take petrochemicals? Yep. Oh, I mean, it would be nice to see ships going up the Thames. Because of course this whole area is a massive dockyard, or at least it was in real life. Now it's known as the Docklands. Go on then. How are we going to get it to here? I feel like I can't take the ships any further than that. Although if they can fit through there, they can fit through there. Although I'm being silly. There. I'm gonna have to let this fill up. I mean, this might go into February, and I'd rather not go into February. Settings factor, day length factor 125. That's the maximum. No, that just slows that down as well. Alright then. It's taking forever, so we're going to temporarily slap it here. Because obviously, in real life, there is a big, lots of docks that run all the way through here, which means that this area right here is now London City Airport. Same with Greenwich. There's lots of keys around here. Or the Isle of Dogs, that's what it's called. This is Barking zinc smelter. Because it's actually quite close to the future site of Barking Riverside, with a branch line running down here. Let's see. Lots and lots of ships. Okay. These ships, one that take petrochemicals. That can take. Oh, hang on. Alright then. This can take the most. Yep, by far. That was owned by another company. Oh. Hope they don't get lost. Right, how many ships? 6. Let's put another one in. That instead of going to... Actually, I've got to refit before I buy them, never mind. Can you take acid? Yep. Instead of going to Beckton fracking plant, go to Barking zinc smelter. And I've got 6 of you on as well. Only problem with ships are absolutely terrible at spacing themselves out. This is... Barking acid and Beckton petrochem. Thank you very much, Jimster Gaming. I've only just saw your message. Yeah, I've spent more time than I'm willing to admit researching all of this. From I've got a big document, obviously, that I'm sure you all know of, that tells you. In fact, I'm going to show you. Let's just open these up. Hang on, OBS display capture. Oh, wrong display. Oops. There we go. Okay. So this is the document. Blah 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 blah. This is what I do really. I have the name of the railway, and the locations they're open to, and also have mergers if I can find one. I have renames. So yeah, it just keeps going. And we are currently there we are. 1889. So this is the start of next episode. We have the fourth bridge to do next episode. Looking forward to that. And then the other one is this one. This is more interpretive because in those days there wasn't really a set stopping pattern. For example, nowadays you have trains leave, so say a certain amount of minutes past the hour, say exactly like 25 minutes past the hour, and they follow the same stopping pattern. It wasn't like that in those days. Services began when the train got there. For example, if a train took like say 1 hour and 17 minutes to travel down a branch line, the next service would start once the engine had run around and fueled up and such. They didn't kind of wait, it just kind of happened when it happened. Which it got, it's fine just for small branch lines, but once you got into main lines, it was chaos because there was just no sort of proper stopping pattern. So this is quite, I had to simplify it down massively. Another thing that I couldn't represent in OpenTTD, but was through coaches. The way it worked is on networks. Say you had a branch line from, let's use the Kyle line, Inverness to Kyle-Lacalsh. So a train in Inverness, from Inverness to say Perth on the Highland Main Line, wouldn't just have carriages for people between Inverness and Perth. At Inverness, they'd attach carriages from the branch line trains coming from Kyle-Lacalsh and Thurso. In fact, I'm going to get the map up and show you. Right, so a train travelling from Inverness here to Perth here wouldn't just have carriages from Inverness. That say a third of the train would be from Inverness, but there'd say be two coaches attached to the back of it that have originated here and just travelled along the normal branch service, like they take it off the branch line train when it arrives in Inverness and couple it up to the back of the Inverness train. And the same with Thurso or Wick. Anyway, so then the train, the train here travelling down to Perth would be say 3/4 from that service, but there'd be say two coaches from Kyle-Lacalsh and two coaches from Wick. But then at Perth, the train was split into half, or maybe even thirds, most likely thirds. 1/3 would go to Edinburgh, 1/3 would go to Glasgow, and then 1/3 would be slapped onto a train from Dundee bound for London. That's a pretty isolated example, but it happened with pretty much every single railway across this country, so it adds up how complicated it gets massively, to the point where I can't even begin to comprehend it. There's through coaches from pretty much anywhere in the country to anywhere in the country, so you only really had to change if you're going from a really obscure place to another really obscure place. Just because of the massive network of through coaches and slip coaches and everything like that. Is ridiculous. So obviously we can't simulate that in OpenTTD because it just because we don't have any sort of method of train splitting or any sort of shunting, that sort of thing. I went on a massive tangent there, didn't I? So yeah, for the industries, the way I researched this, once again, I am having to just kind of guess a lot. But if we go to Railmap Online, which is the source I use for not only making the initial document that outlines all the dates and such, but if I go to features, layers, features and labels, it tells you all the various like line side industries. For example, Ford Motor Works, and that's where I have my assembly plant. And oil works, oil refineries. That's where I have my oil refinery. So I'm doing that for the most part, but because of the way the industry chains work in OpenTTD, I can't kind of do it all exactly. For example, lots of choke quarries here. We don't really have choke, so I had to just put a normal quarry in. And I am just having to put things in that didn't exist at all. For example, this clay pit. It just kind of makes sense. This is a very sandy clay island, so I'm just making use of this military railway here. Just to make sure that the industry chain is actually functional. In the same way, this oil wells, in reality, the oil would be imported, but we don't have any oil rigs until the 1960s. And by that time, rail freight was really starting to slow down and transfer to the roads, so it wouldn't really be used. So yeah, this is obviously a big passion of mine. Oh God, I feel like an interview this morning. Big passion of mine. I'm obviously putting in a lot of research. There are other people who do similar things that I've noticed. I think Carl Baker, he's doing a modern image one, but he's actually recreating every single track plan, every single crossover, and every single service. For example, and that's in Simutrans. I'll put a link in this live stream description if I remember, to that channel, because it's definitely worth having a look at if you're enjoying this series. Talk about distractions, wow. Let's see then. So we've got boats carrying acid to here, and we also need to carry scrap from here. So let's get some new ships that will carry scrap. Scrap metal. And you're going to go from here. And then you're just going to follow the river like the other ships. And you're going to go to the zinc smelter. This is a much shorter journey, so I think I'm just going to put 3 ships on this one. And this is barking scrap. But Tilbury Wharf is also supplying scrap to Stratford Arc Furnace. Here. I've boxed this in here, like, haven't I? Oh no, I haven't. But I'll have to space. Right. So this requires quicklime and scrap metal. So getting the scrap metal from here, I could just send it from. Right, question. Do you want to send it from train along the London Tilbury Southend line up into here and then into there? Or do I want to send it by boat and then change here and then just have a because there's already ships staying into here obviously. And then just getting on a short train journey from North Woolwich up to there. I feel like this line's going to be busy enough. Although no, because I really can't decide here. Let's send it by train. So you can get to there and there, you can get to there and there, yep. So you want something that will carry scrap metal. Is there any use you can have for that train? I like to send trains like full both ways, like we did with the coke and the building materials. Let's see. The thing is, nothing's being fed into Tilby Wharf, but is there anything being fed into anything next to Tilby Wharf? Not really. That's fine. So this is Stratford scrap. And after this, let's do Stratford climb. So this is our lime kiln, being fed from like this. Although, no, let's do it this way. We want a mineral unloader. It makes no difference, it's just a cosmetic thing. And you want trains to take limestone. From this quarry to there, and then we'll take the quicklime up to Stratford. So here we're going to refit the quicklime, and then we're going to unload all, and here we're going to refit back to limestone. And I'll put 3 trains on this. And this is Stratford quicklime. So this is the Stratford. This is an arc furnace. You provide this with scrap metal and quicklime, and it produces steel and slag. I'm probably going to get demonetized, even though it was never monetized in the first place. So this steel we're going to be sending to a fabrication plant. Where's the fabrication plant? It's right here. Oh, wrong company. It's going to be a heavy freight station. I need trains. Wait, give trains access to that. That's probably why that train's already lost so much. It's lost so much. Okay, so we're going to be getting steel from that from here, so that's just going to be a short hop. Yeah, but how do you get there? Is there a link between there? Because that would be really useful. Oh, I'm still under the display capture. There we go. Excuse me. It looks like there is, but it's like it involves like 2 or 3 reversals, and I think it is just like Dockland's like keys almost, like inset tracks and small just shunting movements really, no through trains. Because the only other option would be to like send it like do a reverse like chord across here, which there was in real life, but it's just we're funneling too many trains around that area, and I'm just worried it's going to become really congested. Whereas this is like underused, if anything. So we'll have a set. We'll have quite a few options here. 1, we can put this in anyway. 2, we can put a chord in here and then send trains along the Great Eastern Main Line. Please tell me it's moving. Yes. 3, we'll put a chord in here and send trains down the North London line. I think I'm going to go with option 1. I could put that in as well. There we go. So now I have a little connecting line there. Anyway, so this also requires zinc. Where we're getting the zinc from? Right here. It also requires aluminium, but I don't think we're going to be doing that. God damn it. Oh, bugger. Okay. I've put this under the wrong company. That dock. Right, let's go to here. Do that. And put that back in. Right, that's fixed. So, what next? Also, it's been nearly an hour and I haven't even done this tiny little one here. With no way we're going to get this Kent one sorted. It's going to be taking zinc from here all the way around into there. Or I could just put like a connecting line there. Nah. Is there a depot and barking? Nope. So you're going to be taking steel from there and just chopping it off there. It also produces packaging. Which you're going to be using in the brewery at Romford. Yeah, okay, that works. So then this should be under the Great Eastern. There is the line from Romford to Upminster. When does that get built? Let's search for Romford. $1893. Don't really have a use. We're fine for now. Why is there a... What? What? Hang on. So there's a train in here, which is currently in the depot at Stratford. And that's the train that does the branch line from Gravesend to Port Victoria. How? I found how. Oh, that's gonna mess a lot of things up. No wonder it's looking so empty. All the trains are bloody lost. So yeah, I had a one-way signal here, which meant no trains could actually get into Gravesend from that end. Oops, they'll find their way back, I hope. You know, let's just send you to Gravesend Central. It's more likely to find its way there. Anyway, we want a new train. I said, anyway, we want a new train to take steel and packaging. You can take steel from there down to there, and then you can take packaging to there. It should go on the outside lines because it can only access the brewery via the outside lines. Here you're going to refit to steel. Here you're going to refit to packaging. Here you're going to unload all. No loading. 2 trains will do. One-third fruit. So while we're here, we'll just put in that fruit train from here. Why do you not like that? Okay then. There's going to be a fruit loading station. There's a depot here. I just can't remember what the depot code for it is. And this is going to take fruit. You take fruit from there straight to Romford Brewery. And that's all it's going to do. Right. So, just needed a drink. Right, sorry. So this also needs zinc. So let's go back to London Green South End. Ah. Okay. New plan. I'm gonna move all this down. And move it across as well. So those two are both full. Oh, that's exactly. Oh my god, I'm an idiot. I was trying to make it so that you could fit one train in there, and then one train on this side. But it doesn't like that. Alright, let's do it this way. Whatever. So now I want a heavy freight station. Gonna found new industry. I'm probably gonna need to get some more money. And we want an assembly plant. That will do. So you want a new train that will go and carry zinc and vehicle bodies. Let's try this one. So you're going to pick up your zinc there, you're going to head along this line, you're going to wind your way through there, and you're going to go to there and you're going to refit to, let's see, you're going to refit to zinc here, and you're going to refit to vehicle bodies, and you're going to go to here, going to unload all, no loading, okay great. This is a random vehicles. This also requires parts, and we're getting those parts from here. Yes, this class works. We're going to take it by ship. So you want a boy to go from there, around the Isle of Grain, and then to there. The Thames is going to be very busy. Want something that will carry parts. Right, so obviously this isn't going to be carrying anything until we put in the Kent freight. Although it looks like at this point it's just going to be mostly off. I'm just going to be doing it off camera because it looks like it's going to take the full body live stream to set up. 6 or 9. We'll just do 6. And this is random parts. Okay, what's next? The oil refinery. This is going to be fed from a branch to these oil wells here, which in turn is a branch from Thames Haven. Right, so it's going to be feeding oil from here to here, which is going to produce petrochemicals and petroleum fuels. The petroleum fuels can go to the lime kiln at Benfleet, and the petrochemicals can go to the cracking plant at Beckton. Okay. Now these aren't auto refittable, which means we can't just kind of like refit at the station to make it carry things both ways, unfortunately. So here we're going to have to set up per fleet oil, Beckton, Petrochem, and Benfleet fuels. Here you're going to be carrying petroleum fuels. And you're going to be going from here to there. We'll just do one. Both are going to refit to that. Actually, no. And one's something that carries petrochemicals. And this is going to go from Ferry Hill refineries to Beckton cracking plant. Right, what haven't we done? I think actually finishing up here. Right. There's a textile mill at Lawton, which requires fibres from Tilbury Wharf. And also requires fibres from Hockley, from the fruit plantation here. It doesn't have anywhere to take these because this is like deep into the there's going to be another freight network kind of around this area all the way up to Cambridge. So I think the goods and parts, well, the goods obviously going to go into London, but the parts, I'm not sure. I think obviously they'll feed one of the machines, one of the industries, which is going to be around here. But I think we need this line from Grays to Upminster to take the fibres up there. Oh no, we're going to just use this one. Okay, no, that's fine. So you're going to have to go along here. How are you getting up there? Can't make that turn. Well, I can, but I can't return that way. So it's going to have to go up, excuse me, through Stratford, through the furnace, and around through there. Or I can just stop being an idiot and do this. Oh no, because yeah, because we need a space for the train in there. I don't mind sending it through there, that'll be fine. Let's get a good station in. Oops. And then we need to go to there. Great Eastern Counties region, London Freight. This is Loughton Fibres 1 and Loughton Fibres 2. Also, I've had a revelation. The trains, instead of going around here and around there, going this way, we can go that way, and on the return, then go through down to Liverpool Street to drop off the goods. Except Liverpool Street doesn't take goods. Why not? What's the closest to Liverpool Street we can go that accepts goods? There. Is that far enough away? No, Liverpool Street, there we go. So now Liverpool Street should accept goods. Yep. Obviously, I assume there was lots of good stations around here, separate from Liverpool Street. For example, there's a Shoreditch one here, but we just don't have the space for it. And it looks like Liverpool Street is empty enough. Yeah, there's not really much point. For example, Waterloo, that is packed. So there's no way. Like, Waterloo and London Bridge are always packed full of trains, which is why I've given them their own separate goods stations. But these ones are looking quite empty. Another example is Newcastle. Newcastle station is always packed. Oh, of course, the one time ago it's empty. But it's very congested, especially with the high level bridge, so I've put in their own goods stations. So let's see, we want something that will carry fibres. Nope, wrong one. You're going to be starting here and just making your way up to there. Actually, yeah, this one is going to be the one that goes to London. So you're going to refit to fibres. Actually, that's an idea. Ah, yes, of course. So Fenchurch Street already accepts goods. So instead of sending it to Liverpool Street, let's just send it to Fenchurch Street. Because that means the train just can take the normal London, Tilbury and Southend line to get back to Tilbury. Yeah, that works. Okay, so now we have Loughton Fibres 1. And Loughton Fibres 2. And with that, there's one link I haven't put in yet, and that's the alcohol from the brewery here down to Tilbury Docks. Because we do need that line to put in from Upminster to Romford and then Upminster to Grays. Other than that, I believe that's the London, Tilbury and Southend region done. Now, this one is tiny compared to the things I have set up for the southeast. I wish I could show you this picture. It's just a mess of lines. So I'm not even going to bother starting with that. And instead, we're going to save. Is episode 10. And we're going to do a train ride. So let's just rename the live stream. Although I do want to do a train ride. What else could we do? That's like fun and... no, we'll do a train ride. Now I just need to decide what train do we want to ride. I believe there's one person watching the stream. So if you want us to have a suggestion of what train you want to ride, any place you want to visit, just let me know. Otherwise we'll take an express train, maybe up the east or the west coast main lines. Well, probably not the east coast because this is just completely blocked. That is just completely blocked, like, isn't it? What are you waiting for? You're trying to go to Yorkshire Road. What are you doing? Go to the depot. I think what's happening here is this is trying to go onto this line. What's stopping it? Ah, that's what's stopping it. You're waiting to go into here. Yeah, like I said, because this area here is just so congested, so wildly congested. What can we do about this? Do I think maybe I'm sending too many trains down to Moorgate instead of just using the suburban platforms at King's Cross? Possibly. Yeah, okay. So, we'll have different termini. We'll have Enfield, High Barnet, Edgware, Alexandra Palace. Seeing that the Enfield one's going to be extending up to Stevenage. So yeah, this one is not going to go to Moorgate anymore. Yep, so you're just going to be going to King's Cross. Thing is, yeah, look, there's obviously going to be loads of connections from King's Cross here to Moorgate and onwards, so you don't really need to send loads of trains downwards into Moorgate itself. So I'm thinking we only send the trains from Alexandra Palace. So going to give it Yorks Road and Moorgate, like so. Same with Edgware. That should make things easier, because it means you yeah, you're just going to move on. You should be able to move on now. Yep, so that should become slowly uncongested. So anyway, we have 45 minutes. Where do we want to have a train ride? Do you want to have a train ride on the West Coast Main Line, the Midland Main Line, the East Coast Main Line, Great Eastern, South Eastern, London, Chatham and Dover, South Western, Brighton, Great Western? Well, let's have a look when the departure there, because we don't have to wait for ages. Where are you going? You're going to Leeds. You're going to Edinburgh. You're going to Edinburgh. What about here? You're going to Birmingham. You're going to Portsmouth. You're going to Southampton. Let's do the East Coast Main Line because the train's already leaving. Yep, here we go. And it's a play. How about we'll have some music on? Turn it right down. Oh, you're kidding. How did that happen? Oh no. Alright, you're Moorgate to Alexandra Palace and you're London to Cambridge. Oh god. Let's replace those. How many people are on them? Oh, it was completely full. Oh god. Oh no. I feel bad. Oh well. Right, how's the volume level? Can you still hear me over the top of it? Should do. So maybe we'll actually like talk about the lines this way. There's the Flying Scotsman. Why am I moving so slowly? Hang on, can I go to settings? I think the trains might speed up if I do this. Yes, there we go. I'm going to zoom out a bit. So we're currently travelling up the Great Northern Main Line, which is still in use today. I don't believe it was four-tracked at this point in time. We're passing through Hatfield, where 2 branches come off. One of them goes to Luton and Dunstable, where this train is now heading, and the other goes to Hertford. Sorry, 3 branches went off at Hatfield. I completely forgot about the one to St Albans. Even though Stevenage is the primary place between Stevenage and Hitchin now, that wasn't always the case. Stevenage was designated a new town and massively expanded after the Second World War. Before that, Hitchin was a much bigger place and Stevenage was kind of like a small stopping place. Hitchin became the big place because of the massive junction here, as this is where the Great Northern's branch to Cambridge came off. As well as the it was originally a branch, like a junction between 2. Hey, that Leeds Express is going to overtake us. Between it and the Midland Main Line, because before St Pancras was built, the Midland Main Line briefly used a section of the Great Northern Main Line between London and Hitchin for access to London. At Sandy, the Varsity line passes over, which is this line you see here, which is the London and North Western Railways line between Oxford and Cambridge, known as the Varsity line because it connected the 2 university towns. At Huntingdon, we have the Midland Line coming in from the west, and the Great Eastern Line from the east. The Midland Line comes from Kettering, and the Great Eastern Line comes from both Ely and Cambridge. I've been thinking about what I'm going to be doing in the second series. I don't know. Because there's not really going to be much happening in terms of that big document I showed you. Things are already slowing down a fair bit compared to the 1860s. So I was thinking I'd do some detail work. I can install some GRFs which let me place like fields and such, and I just cover everywhere in fields. Because at the minute the map is looking very, very bland, so I could cover all the relatively flat areas with lots of fields, which not only blends in with the towns and such, but also it'll just make the map look much more complete. Because I just don't like looking at the complete bare fields and stuff, because for some reason barely any frost generated on this map. Off to the left, the right, we'll have the line, the Great Northern Line to Boston, Duluth, and Grimsby. We're making our first stop in Essendine, which is a junction for both Stamford, Wansford, Bourne and Sleaford. Which is passed under the Midland and Great Northern Joint Railway, although I don't think it's become a joint railway just yet. Which is a line from both Leicester and Peterborough to Norwich, Yarmouth and Cromer. Making our second stop at Grantham, which is the junction for Nottingham, Derby, Burton-upon-Trent and Stafford, using the Great Northern Railway's Derbyshire and Staffordshire lines. and we just passed over the junction for Sleaford, Lincoln and beyond. Oh god, I can hear a cat. Come on in then. It's because you can hear us talking. This is Newark. I don't think we're stopping here. Oh, we are. Newark is the junction for the Midland lines to Lincoln and Nottingham, and also the Great Northern and London North Western joint line to Leicester, Margaret Harbour and Northampton. I can hear you. Come on then. Yeah, I know. Oh. Looks like I forgot to put signals in here. Oops. And the railway just went to debt. This is Retford, which is the junction for the Manchester, Sheffield and Lincolnshire Railway. For Sheffield to the west, and Lincoln and Grimsby to the east. Nope. Didn't mean to do that. There we go. There we go. Now we're arriving into Doncaster, which is obviously a major junction for pretty much everywhere. To the west you have Sheffield, Huddersfield, Leeds, Bradford, Halifax, Wakefield, even Manchester by an extent. And then to the east you have Hull, Scunthorpe, Grimsby, Lincoln, To the left, we'll have the line up to Ferry Bridge, Nottingley, Pontefract, and then by extent Leeds or Wakefield, and even by further extent the entire Manchester and Leeds main line, all the way to Blackpool. I believe that's the Hull and Barnsley Railway we're passing under now, and then that's the Lancashire and Yorkshire main line to Goole. And now we're pulling into Selby, and off to the left is the the Leeds and Selby line to, well, Leeds. Straight ahead from our train is the line to Hull. And then to our right is the line to Market Weighton, and by extent Driffield. And now we're pulling into York, once again, a junction for pretty much everywhere. To the southwest you have Leeds, to the west you have Harrogate, to the northeast you have Scarborough and Whitby, and to the east you have Beverley and Hull. Thirsk, which is the junction just for Melverby. And I think I've just missed Pilmoor there. Of course, I look away for 5 seconds and I miss it. Pilmoor, which is the junction for Harrogate to one side, and Malton, Driffield and Scarborough the other way. This is North Alderton, we're passing straight through here. North Alderton is the junction for the Wensleydale line to the west, to Beedale, Leyburn, Hawes and Garsdale. And then to the east there's the secondary line up to Stockton-on-Tees, Middlesbrough and Hartlepool. Ferry Hill, the junction for Richmond. And this is Darlington, Bank Top Station. To the west is Stockton, Middlesbrough and Saltburn. And to the east is... Sorry, that was to the east. And to the west is Barnard Castle, Middleston and Teesdale, Kirkby Stephen, Teebay, Penrith, all the way to Cockermouth and Workington. This is Ferry Hill, where the junction for Stockton and Port Clarence goes off to the southwest. and off to the northeast is the oh, mine's gone blank. It's the old East Coast Mountain Line, which goes past Durham and goes instead through Washington to Pilo. We just passed under the Pontop and Tyne Railway, or Pontop and South Shields rather, beginning in Concert and ending in South Shields. And then that's the Pontop and Jarrow Railway, between Tanfield and, well, Jarrow. And now I believe we're seeing the congestion coming into Newcastle. All of the north-south traffic has to go across this one track high-level bridge, which is where all the congestion comes from. Looks like we're going to get stuck in this semi-fast passenger service. I believe that's the service between York and Berwick. This is Morpeth. Off to the left, well, the west is the junction to Rothbury and Reedsmouth, and then to the east is the junction down to the Blythe and Tyne lines. We just overtook that slower service. Chevington is the branch, sorry, the junction for the Amble branch. Almouth is the branch for Alnwick, and then Alnwick in its turn is a junction for Coldstream. And once again we're stuck behind a slow freight train. That was the point of the those loops that you saw. in theory, the freight trains would pull into those loops and stop, and then let any passenger trains run through, and then they carry on. Since the passenger trains are much more time sensitive. As we pass over through Tweedmouth, we'll see the branch to Kelso through Coldstream, and then we pull into Berwick now, where we pass over from North Eastern Railway metals to North British Railway metals for our final section of the journey. Reston is the branch junction to Duns and St Boswell's. Just to the right now, the north is the branch to North Berwick. And Long Nidri is the branch for the branch to Haddington. And it looks like there's a lot of congestion on the way into Edinburgh. Well, isn't that just typical? It's because there's so many freight trains around here. There's trains carrying all the lumber from the forests in the borders down to all the various paper mills in the area. There's steel coming in from the ironworks in Morningside and Falkirk. There's lots of coal mines in the area carrying coal down to the docks. And we are finally pulling into Edinburgh Waverley. And with that, I've already overrun the stream by like 15 minutes. So I want to thank you all very much for tuning in today. And wow, look at the size of Edinburgh. Edinburgh's 1.5 times the size of London. It's spreading out all the way over here and filling up into Leith and everything. Anyway, thank you all very much for watching. I'm going to start working on the next episode. Episode 11. which will actually take us up to 1899. 70 years since we first started. That is scary. Anyway, thank you all very much. See you soon.